IT person. Yeah, you're good, yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We're gonna get this downtown management meeting started, February edition, February 26th. First thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Anyone, any discussion on the consent agenda today? No, not here. We entertain a motion.
Make a motion
Thank you. Who?
to approve the
Right.
consent agenda.
Second.
Offer.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, great. Moving right along, public comment. Any comments, general comments from, we don't have anyone online. We're gonna talk about your stuff later, but if you have any comments, you want to say hi? We'll move on. We'll get to everyone later. Okay, great. New business. First, we're gonna talk about the facade grant program. Amy.
Okay. The design committee received and reviewed 5 applications for the facade grant program. And in reviewing the applications and the intent of the program, the committee determined the majority of the applications submitted were maintenance rather than improvements that would positively impact the downtown streetscape, which is the objective of the facade grant program. The one application they did feel met the intent was the 434 East Mitchell Street or the former Leo's Lounge. And it's a redevelopment of the whole building, but it also includes a major facade rehabilitation that removes elements to reveal the historic facade and restore architecturally appropriate features, including the cast iron pillars and the upper and lower facade parapets. Based on the extent of the work that this building is going through, the committee is making a recommendation that the entire, they're recommending that this application move forward to the phase 2 application. It was a 2-part. Phase 1 was very basic information. And then if an application goes on to phase 2, they have to give much more detailed architectural and cost information. And the committee is recommending this project to move forward to phase 2 with the potential to award up to the entire $30,000 facade grant allocation. So that's the recommendation of the design committee.
I got a quick question. Should we have to award all 30,000, even if it's to one applicant, or like, if there are, like, can we award 10,000 or 20,000 and be okay for the year?
That's the discretion of the board.
The other, that 5 other projects were presented, and just, will any of those other applicants be really upset or not get what they need?
They didn't qualify,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah, they didn't qualify under the guidelines of the facade program.
got
They were basically maintenance.
it. Yeah,
Instead of improvement.
got it.
And
That was the whole point of when we kind of redesigned
Redesigned it.
how we were doing it, instead of getting like $1,000 to repaint or something. Which, you know, repaint makes a difference, but that's kind of the idea that it would.
Right.
To, you know, have a big impact.
Or take it back to the historical,
Yeah.
you know, aspect or.
I just think they're pointing by, if I was like, you know, if the whole 30,000 goes to one applicant, I could see how it might, in some businesses sour.
Sure.
I get it's gonna, you know, they need some money. I just don't know if we wanna save some for, you know, I guess, our coffer fund.
If I can say something, I think that,
If you're
and I,
not here.
I think, like, I feel that that's such a major project
Mhm.
that has sat for so long and been an eyesore in our community that I'm in favor of it. I mean, you can even see the difference in the drawing. And to try to revitalize that end of Mitchell Street. And since no one else qualified and we budgeted 30,000. As of right now, I'm kind of in favor.
Mhm.
So.
Next. That 30,000, I mean, that's what it is every year, basically. That's what usually gets budgeted.
Historically, it was 20,000, it just, and then we didn't do it last year. And so this year we bumped it up to 30,000, but it's really every budget cycle. It's what the design committee thinks that they should.
Okay.
The one other discussion of this, because one of the changes to the program was they have up to 24 months to complete it, because what we kept finding is people were not able to get contractors. I mean, I think this one will move along quickly, but just give them a little more time. And at that point, we're really into 2 budget cycles. So one thought is moving forward is a facade grant, a 2-year program. And people have 2 years to complete it, and that just means we've got to carry that over into the next budget cycle. Because we know it's particularly if we award this, so they'll do the phase 2 application. We'll get an agreement in place. I mean, I think they have a contractor lined up, but our construction season is so short that it just, if we don't get this in place until April and, good construction goes through October, yeah, it's just moving forward. And it was historically, the committee kind of tried to award all applicants a little something, but then there really was no strong impact from
Right.
the project, so,
I was just curious. I'm
yeah.
wrapping my head around it all.
So it is kind of a 2-year program right now, though, because we said 24 months
It is.
technically. And that's 24 months from when we approve today, or from the phase 2.
No, it'd be when we have the agreement
Phase 2
in place.
after that. Okay.
I like the word you used, impact, that dollar amount would make a huge impact in their project and the building. Where, like you were saying, how if it was spread out, that it didn't, like you didn't see it.
What roughly were the size of the ones that didn't qualify? Were they small or?
We had some replacement windows, 2nd-story replacement windows, some repair and repainting of brick on the upper part of a facade on the backside of the building that fronts Bay Street, Mike Lambert's building. There was one application actually where the work was done already, but they submitted it because we didn't have a program last year, so I thought they.
Give it a shot.
They
Yeah.
would.
Last.
Let's see, Gary, no, I can't remember the other ones. I know it's in the minutes. Let's see.
But as far as like.
Oh, it was right by the park, right by the city park, the insurance building.
Yeah, that was one from.
Oh, that was the one,
previous
yeah.
year. Then we also had another one. Blank. Let's see here. It's in the minutes for the committee. All right, so we had 434 East Lake Street. So that was the one that was actually, if the work was completed last year. 200 Bay Street was the one where it was brickwork up on the 2nd floor. 323 East Mitchell. This was upper story windows. There wasn't any architectural changes. It was just replacing windows to be more energy efficient. And then see 434 East Lake 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 461 East Mitchell was Crooked Tree Art Center. And that was repairs to the steeple.
Great, we're in it. So we have some, I guess, our options as a board right now. You know, we can obviously accept this if someone wanted to make a motion in that regard, and we can keep discussing. I'm just laying out our options, so we have it. We can, and then, or send it back to design committee if we wanted to give some updates, I believe, or to modify or ask for recommendations, or reject it. Or I guess,
Yeah, does it have to be that $30,000 mark? Can you make a motion for like 20?
You can make a motion.
you
Sure.
for 20 instead. What, do we have a nine, so in the 30 is a match, right?
It is
Or
not.
it is not, it could be the whole.
But clearly this
This
project.
project will have way, it's, I mean.
Right.
I kind of see your point as an impact, but I'm also like, the project's also huge, like, I
Yeah.
mean, every dollar helps for a project, but that project, the budget of that project
$1 million project
is a lot, so.
That's why I don't want to make
Particular
other business.
building, actually, replacing this cornice has been like a priority project for the design committee for years. When Richard Smith owned it, he did get a facade improvement grant to redo those windows, those upper floor windows. And he also got a grant to replace that cornice, but just never did it.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's, the committee decided to try to make it as flexible a program as possible. I mean, they wouldn't award $30,000 if it was probably 100% of the project cost, but saying they didn't want it necessarily to be a 50-50 match. They wanted to keep it pretty open to try to get as many applications as we could. Because we felt like the more parameters we put on things, we wouldn't get applications. But I think we're hoping that if we move forward and we're not approving, it's clear that this is not a program for maintenance, we won't continue to get maintenance applications. So,
Have you spoken to any of the other applicants since?
I reached out to all of them and let them know they were not moving on to phase two. I spoke to one of them. I don't know if I spoke to him. Nobody reached back out after I let them know they weren't moving on.
Yeah, I think they need something. I want to help. I just don't want to make everyone upset. And, I think if, we could keep 10,000 as a coffer, I would make a motion to accept it with the $20,000 amount.
Any discussion on that?
Or support.
Or support?
And I'll tell you in a second.
So if there's no support, I actually haven't, okay, I actually haven't seen that.
So the one motion is to let it go back to the committee for phase two for consideration of up to potentially, right? And this is something that we can take into consideration to the design committee as well. That says, hey, because the second phase, we're actually gonna see a budget and how much money they're spending and how much money possibly that they're already getting for the grant, so it doesn't feel like we're just handing out.
Right.
But it seems like a pretty expensive project. If we have it in budget, I mean, this money, that's already been budgeted. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've had this kind of same feelings that you're having, But I think that we're dialed in so that even if we do award the 30 to them, that it won't be without consideration.
Potential.
Right, potential.
But I saw that word and I think I wanted to stress, if, I think that's up to the design committee more so because you guys are seeing it and this is kind of,
Well, we all have to approve it
Mhm.
at that,
That point.
at that
So if
point
it
at
goes
next
through the
meeting.
second phase, does it come back to us then to approve it again? Or does
Um,
it just go through?
I think it would just go through I mean, if the board wants it to come back, we certainly can have it come back.
Sure.
It just. It's just, another meeting that hopefully we can get it going for.
Cause this does get at the point of like. How much in the maintenance point for especially, I'm a little more sympathetic to the nonprofits than. Maybe the for-profits that are asking for money. Of how much we're just helping people take care of their buildings, like obviously it affects everyone, the look of their buildings if they're up to date, but. Some of that stuff to me isn't improving the facade, it's just kind of maintaining your building, which we've had some issues with some people, but I don't know. I'm partial to a big project making a big impact, as we said. So,
So you can reword your motion if you want,
you can make,
or I could make.
Okay, so why don't you make?
Well, I'm on the committee, I don't.
I know that's,
Yeah.
you can do it, that's fine.
we're both on the committee.
That's fine.
You're not supposed to make an emotion?
No,
Felt like- That's how I felt.
well, you
Oh, okay.
go for it.
Oh, no, I
You
felt
want
like I
Oh.
shouldn't because the same as what you said, but
Thank you for this, by the way.
that is helpful.
Very.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When it says up to a $30,000. That means that it can be altered later? Cause it says up to.
Well, I mean, it can't exceed 30,000. I mean, I think if the direction of the board is it's up to 30,000, I think then the design committee is gonna look at, when you get the cost estimates and say, well, actually, we think it should be 25.
Oh, okay.
Or, yeah, you're spending just on the facade alone, $150,000, so yeah, we feel like a $30,000 grant is justifiable.
Okay.
But I guess we hadn't thought that it would come back, maybe the agreement. Because we're gonna actually have an agreement between the DMB and the applicant, and that would come back to, and that would lay out, timeline, costs, what the grant award is.
I will make a motion. I move to accept the design committee recommendations for the 434 East Mitchell Street project to move on to the phase 2 application and authorize up to a $30,000 grant award due to the project consistency with the objectives of the facade grant program and compliance with the downtown design guidelines.
I second that.
Second, okay, any more discussion?
The only discussion that I would say is what we've just had right here is that please, as the design committee, I trust everybody, but like, yeah, you're looking at it and I know it's not a maintenance issue for everybody and I know it's some of those maintenance issues, though, if it's something they want to do and they're holding off to do it because they don't have the funds to do it, I guess, and it helps downtown in the long run for everything to look better. I know that I wasn't part of that discussion, but I do think that that's an important thing to think about when you're deciding.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All right,
Hi.
all opposed, same sign? All right. Motion carries. Okay, we're moving on down to reviewing the, and possible recommendation for the DDA liquor license for Happy's Tacos at 413 East Lake Street. Amy, do you want to start, and then are we gonna have some involvement from them?
So
Maybe or not, I don't know.
Happy's Tacos has made application for a DDA liquor license for their new location at 413 East Lake. In considering DDA licenses, city council evaluates how an issuance of such a license will promote economic growth in a manner consistent with the adopted goals, plans, and policies of the DDA district. And as part of that evaluation, they request that the downtown management board make a recommendation on the application. So the applicants are here. If the board has questions for them, I don't know if they would like to, you don't have to speak, but if you want to give a few words, that would be fine too.
Yeah, if there are questions, we'd be glad to answer them. Yeah, I think in our application, we kind of outlined some of the details as far as it, how it will benefit the economic growth of the area and everything. And I don't know, you know, we have to, if the details are in there on how we plan to spend, make up that $75,000 for the, consideration for the license or not. We can go into that too, if those details aren't in there, so. If anyone has any questions, please, yeah. Yes, please.
Well, there's 10 DDA license, correct, according to the updated ordinance?
There are 10 available, right, and we currently have 5.
And can be used, we have 5, and the one that was the Ernesto's one, does that go back into?
Yes, so there's still 5 available, so we
Okay.
had 6.
Yeah.
1 was returned, so we have 5 available.
It's a lot of ours. Come on.
I remember when it was a restaurant and they had a liquor license, it wasn't for very long, but I thought it was great. It doesn't bother me. I think
I
there's
think
more
that,
food and areas to keep people downtown and being there and eating and
yeah, I think you see the draw too with how many people go to Happy's Tacos when it's at Backlot, it's a destination. They've been part of this community, so yeah, I have no problem.
And that space has just been begging for something.
I know.
I-
Well, and
I'm excited.
how long ago was it that Happy's was in there?
2017.
Oh, I was thinking it was longer than that. Okay, I loved having it there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. But did American Spoon still hold that license? There were cocktails, but it was still their license.
Yeah, we essentially ran the entire business. Spoon and then,
Got it.
we just DBA, you know,
Okay.
that is how it works out.
I remember those raspberry.
I think there's opportunity to learn how to run. a-
Right, yeah.
It's awesome.
Good.
Very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any full locations set or just trucks right now?
We have our location in Boyne City. It was originally and still continues to be our commissary kitchen. So in the spring, summer and fall, we kind of renovate the parking lot there to have like a nice patio and put a food truck out there and everything, but it is still seasonal, so it's not, you know, it is like a physical location, but unfortunately just not year round, so. And that is also where our brewery is, because we have a brewery in that commissary too that we, so we are familiar with operating a bar too, because we use a tap room right there in that parking lot, so.
This won't jeopardize your brewery's license, correct?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
I move to recommend the city council the issuing of a DDA liquor license for Happy's Tacos at 413 East Lake Street and find that the application is consistent with the downtown strategic plan and will promote economic growth in the DDA district by Happy's Tacos.
I second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Oh, I actually have a, what happened to the one that we recommended? Across the street from this boutique was on. Didn't they,
Speak easy.
that speakeasy
Oh.
that we recommended and then did it just not get approved?
Never moved forward.
Correct.
They didn't move it forward or it didn't get approved?
Did they even take it to council?
Yeah, I went to council. Well, now I'm confusing myself because you
Is
guys
that
were meeting
boutique
over
busting
there.
Is what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I don't think it actually ever went to fruition to council because we're waiting on like the incomplete application. I know it never got approved by council, nor did the state ever get any information.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can find more information and let
No.
you know.
I thought it was
As
a
far
fire
as I know,
exit
there's not a
situation.
license.
Yeah, there's definitely not a license, but I just don't think,
Oh,
I guess I'm not 100% if council just denied it, but I don't. I'm getting confused because DMB was also meeting in council chambers. I remember being at that meeting.
right,
But they were also there for another matter too, so.
code issue.
Code
Yeah,
issue.
that makes sense. That my only, I was thinking, do we have one just like outstanding that's in limbo between that would?
Well, there's 10 available.
Yeah, there's plenty. Okay, anyway, that was my discussion. Anything else? Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried. Great.
Thank you.
When you open?
One, right, one step on the way.
Right.
Okay, next in new business, we are going to postpone our discussion of the block captain program. When we have a, I think, more full board, just to make sure we're all talking about that. Was a suggestion there. And then that would move us into January data recap.
Skip through that. Actually, starting, with December data, I wanted to kind of go back. Again, we, beginning in January, have, I guess it's called a subscription with the city to Place for AI, which is kind of a cell phone tracking software. So it tracks pedestrian traffic very well. So what I just wanted to show you here, this is the month of December 2025. And I've just highlighted our major events. So this is visit numbers, and sorry, it is, this top number is 10,000 and this is 8,000. So this is visits over 10 minutes in downtown. So it's not someone just going through downtown. You're actually there for at least 10 minutes. So this is number of visits for open house is about, I didn't print out the, but it's about 9,000.
Just over
Or
there.
here the day of open house. The day of the parade was about just over 4,000. Night was about 3,800. So I just wanted to kind of show those nights. And then it also, when you go back in time, it'll pull up, you know, because if we're looking at an event from year to year, what was the weather? What, you know, weather is always a contributing factor. So I just printed what the weather was each of those days. So here is Friday, summer visits were 9.03 thousand visits. Weather was pretty decent. And visits over 2024 were up 8% versus the previous Friday, obviously 108% increase. Versus an average Friday is 79%, and that's an average Friday the entire year, I believe. And then Saturday, for men's night, traffic was down from the year before. It was a cold night. And then I'm sorry, that was the parade, a parade. And traffic was also down for men's night. Decent weather, but that the traffic and we heard that through the surveys too, that numbers were down, sales were down. So those are the kinds of trends and information that we're using this software for.
And that includes, so the visit over 10 minutes could be people working or living.
No, there's a whole, so here, it's not up at the top, you can click whether you want information on visitors, employees, or residents, or all of them.
Okay.
So
It
It's a-
categorizes them somehow.
it does, and I think it's by length of stay in the area. So we've drawn a polygon, which is downtown. So, it is, so like for employees, it's tracking, you're here like around 5 to 6 hours, then you're probably an employee. If you're here 12 hours, you're probably a resident. But those are three distinct. I'm not, and they say it's 93% accurate. What I found with the program is you change one thing slightly and the numbers change. So it's very hard to get back to what you saw before. But so we're not looking really, it's more trends. We're trying to follow trends, what's happening. And there's nothing we can do about the weather, but what else are we doing for the different events?
Yeah.
So
Can we look historically, even though
Yeah, we can go back
how
to 2019.
Right.
So it's providing 7 years. Was that some? I think they said they'll go back 7 years, so it'll roll off. So when 2026 is done, it'll only go back to 2020.
It's pretty fascinating. The email you sent out, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it is, but I'm still kind of like,
Leery.
I mean, it says that, because it shows for employees, it does a chart like this, but if you kind of drew a line through it, it's at 9,000. I'm sorry, 900. That seems like a lot of employees for downtown, so I don't know if that is picking up some residents, but that includes the county building.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, if you start adding it up.
Does it include Cricket Tree, County Building, Grain Train, like, does it gets out, so it's a wide, it's not just like the real shopping district
No,
or anything like
No,
that,
it's
so.
it's the DDA district without, at least what we have right now is the DDA district without including the Greenway corridor on either end, because that's just gonna
Yes.
double count people.
Right.
But so it's the core of downtown. So there's that, and then it's, because they also have data, I've given the information on, trade area. But there's a whole, we can get into their whole Experian. So Experian is like, they, how would you say that? They group people, like, I'm trying to think of what their categories are different than the GI. When we did the downtown strategic plan in 2018, we used a different software, but Experian is another where it groups people, like it's like smart seniors, and they say smart seniors are this group, this is what they buy, this is where they live, this is where they travel, and they have all these characteristics, and they break down the whole population into these categories, and they say this group is X% of the customers of downtown. So it's kind of, for your marketing, do you target more to that group, or are you trying to expand your base and target more to some of the groups that aren't currently frequenting your downtown? So there's a lot you can do with it that we're just starting to figure out, but
And are you taking requests from downtown businesses if they,
taking requests from
from the board,
the board.
if we're looking at, we're curious about things?
Well, and that's the other thing, so we.
Just the
You're so
board-
cryptic, Joe.
We're never asking.
Can
No, I
see
feel
everybody
like-
Walk through my door.
But there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of fun stuff that would be great to
Yeah.
keep seeing more, so I'm just saying, if you're gonna be looking something. Maybe put some requests.
And if, I mean, if there's data that you think you're interested in seeing, we'll see if we can find it, but yeah, no, we can do
Can it narrow down like in certain areas, like if we wanted to see, okay, how many people movies in the park? We're in the park type thing, or
yeah,
concerts and.
what we can do. When we get a small geographic area and a small number, it'll say data not available, but we can follow. We have a polygon for Pennsylvania Park, and we can say. We probably can't go down to the hours of movies in the park, but we can say this Friday, there were this many people in the park, and this Friday, there were this many people in the park.
Which is great info for you guys and you,
Yeah.
or Drew, like for the.
But I know I did want to, I was trying to get to one of the events, like the hours that it was going on, and it just said, if there's not enough data. So if we can't get down too close, and, you know, obviously privacy is a big thing, so they don't.
It's great.
These numbers are like, they have these formulas. It's like they take the number of devices and they do something with it, and that comes up with the number of visits, and then they do a multiplier, and that's.
And can you, one thing that may be interesting, can you compare it to other areas or?
Yes.
So you can say, yeah, our trend of, this is us for this weekend, we were either up or down, and people was Harbor Springs or Traverse City up or down
Yeah.
as well.
Actually, I think Missy did look at, she's on vacation, so she's not here. After winter weekend, she's had a well survey. She looked at, the weekend, because Harbor Springs did their ice festival the weekend before us. Our traffic was still up. How did she say it? It didn't take away from downtown traffic. Our traffic was consistent or up from the previous Friday, even though they had a big event going on there.
Well. Right, well, is this gonna be like a consistent agenda item?
It can be, yes. And we'll probably kind of try to standardize what is the information we're giving you.
Which
But
great
it-
info for a new incoming business too, I feel like, to give them this information,
Mhm.
Well,
They have to learn it
Not
on
as-
their own.
going in as blind.
or what, yeah, like what days are you gonna be like, oh, out of nowhere, like steamroll? Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh,
I was,
the open house night.
right,
There's
I-
even soccer weekend. To let
Yeah.
people understand how busy soccer weekend gets and stuff. Opposed to fall and spring, and
Well, and the
because everyone always forgets about those anyways.
art in the park is one of the big days in the summer.
Yeah.
For traffic downtown.
well, and I think, and then the events part is gonna be great. For
Yeah,
us, for our purposes, when we're trying to build these big events, we can look at the data and say.
Mhm.
Yeah, did it, surveys, or did it feel good, and then to feel like it was busy, there's a lot of people, or. There was no one, or there was a ton of people, so what happened?
well, and that's, all marketing and promotions can do is try to get people in downtown. That's not, if we ask people, how is your business? It's great if it was improved, but we can't get the people in the store. We can just get
Right.
people to
Sure.
downtown, so.
It's your own thing you gotta do.
So let's see. And this is just some more information from Placer AI. So Visits over 10 minutes, January 2026 over 2025 was up 1.9%. Saturday averaged
Cause it was cold.
visitors, 3,700. And yeah, I know, talking to most businesses, January was very slow, so just saying that there were more people in town doesn't necessarily say there was more business going on. Winter Wonderland weekend, visits over 10 minutes. We had a 12% increase over last year, which I think the sunshine had a lot to do with it. Even though those ice sculptures didn't last very long, it was really, really nice outside.
That Saturday was like perfect
Oh,
downtown.
It was, yeah. So again, that's for the whole weekend, the trend. Let's see here. Okay, let's see, I had some other, so that's kind of your, January numbers. Your data recap.
Great.
All right.
All right, moving on to reports by committees and staff.
Let's see, the design committee is meeting next week, because we're a little off schedule now, so design committee's meeting is next week, so we'll follow up on the phase 2 application. Also looking at, we put in the budget, money for more bike racks and bike corrals. But we're looking at modifying what the bike corrals look like and making them just connected bike racks instead of that enclosure, because people don't know what that enclosure is, even though there's little bikes on it, it's hiding the actual rack. So just getting review on that by the design committee. Let's see, parking. Anything other than the meeting summary? No, everything's pretty much in the details. Okay. Marketing and promotions has not been able to get a quorum for 2 months in a row. And there are some pressing items that really need to have some decisions made, and it's something I'd kind of like the board to talk about. One is the holiday parade. We received input from the participants in the parade. We also asked businesses. There's interest to move it back to the Thursday of or the weekend of Thanksgiving. But there's not consensus on whether it should be a day parade or a night parade. One of the issues, my understanding of why it was moved is because Rotary had a tough time getting volunteers that weekend. But I've also talked to the high school band director, and they are not interested in doing it mid-December because the brass instruments this time, I mean, it was a very cold day. It was, but the year before it was cold too. And they're just like, the kids are just suffering and the instruments aren't working.
I've never seen that band go as fast as they did.
And then everyone else was dragging behind. You know, there's a possibility it could be shortened. But we also this year didn't reach our sponsorship goal for that parade. So I did raise it with the committee of whether do we take a pause on doing the holiday parade. Take a pause in 2026 and either we work to try to revamp it or people just aren't showing an interest moving forward in doing a parade. So, I mean, there were only 2 members of the committee when that was discussed. I don't know. I do think interest in the parade has waned. It's not the parade it was historically. I mean, we could work to try to bring it back, but you saw the numbers of for a Saturday in December. Let me see if I can go back to this. What did I get?
Good lift.
It was there.
Oh, did it show up? Let's see if I can.
It's small.
Pull it up. Okay, so here's the parade. That's December 13th. So again, as you're getting towards the holiday, so here's the next Saturday. And then the Saturday after the holidays. You know, it isn't bringing in a lot of people. And, you know, I know there's been some discussion of, do we do a Christmas market downtown? Do we do something different in December? So it's just something I wanted to bring up and,
So do you want us to discuss it, or are you just? think about it?
yeah,
mean,
well, I
like, what-
guess,
I mean,
you know, I mean, because usually the recommendations come from the marketing and promotions committee, but we haven't been able to meet and so I guess I would like board members' input to take back to the committee as well.
What's our budgetary impact? We basically pay Rotary some amount and we got some sponsors because they run
So,
or have run it.
and we may look at tweaking that as well, because we basically Rotary handled the volunteers. Or getting people to sign up for the parade. The day of the parade, they had 5 volunteers, but they have 2 main volunteers that are working and getting the sponsors. But we were paying them $3,000 and we didn't get as much sponsorship money as we had hoped for. So that limited how much promotion we could do at the event. So I don't, you know, I think we could probably handle the parade as it currently stands without the assistance of Rotary or reduced assistance of Rotary or maybe another nonprofit group. I don't know. But if we want to grow this parade, we probably need more funding. So that's the point is we're at, right now the budget is $3,000 for the parade. And then we also try to, I don't remember, I think we try to get at least $3,000 in sponsorship to try to lessen the assessment.
I'm on the events committee. I would say for my personal opinion, I think it would be really tough, and I do think there'd be some people that would be upset if we didn't do a parade. I would love to see it get better, and I know that it's tough because of the weather many times, but I guess I don't know work-wise if it feels too much work for Missy and you to say, for me to say, hey, I think it's hard to get rid of something that has been around for forever. It would be nice to figure out, I don't know if you have to stop it though, to figure out how to make it better. If you know, just knowing that like, okay, in 2028, we want to do something, we want to make it better by then. So 2027, we're not planning to make too many changes, but we're focusing on what those changes will be for 2028. I don't,
Well, we know we have to change the date because the band will not do it.
they actually said they won't do it. Just surprises me because they don't have half their kids that weekend.
Well, that was my understanding, but I mean, we need to have more discussion, but I've talked to him twice and I was like, well, I don't have clear direction yet. So,
And the only option is to go back to Thanksgiving weekend, correct? Back
yes,
to the original, okay, because it's, I guess the
But
weekend in
that-
between is. open
What about
house.
I mean, unless we don't want the band in it.
Saturday after? open house?
House.
They felt the same way about that too.
What's that?
Saturday after open house. And what's like?
They're not gonna do it that weekend, they probably wouldn't. wanna do
We
it that
didn't,
weekend.
we didn't broach
I don't
that.
know.
I mean, again, there's so many, the
There's so
Saturday
many.
after open house.
I was just.
Definitely not doing it the day of open
Hell,
house stuff. I
sorry.
mean, that was
No.
kind of like, can you combine the two? No. But I mean, the fact is, there's a lot going on in December. The businesses are busy.
That's why the November date is nice, because it, you know,
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Well, you don't have to do.
we're
that
changing the
tomorrow.
date again, and now we're changing the date again. Now it's a night, now it's a day, you know,
You
it's
have
just.
to change the date though, if you're gonna have a band. So that wasn't really,
well,
But we still have to find out if there's an issue with the Thanksgiving weekend, because our understanding is they go downstate to do something, and so then they have to rush back up here to do.
You could ask if they would do the steel drum in the parade if you kept the date versus not the full band.
it's a good.
I mean, it's, I have a kid in the steel drum, we're flipping a lot of parades. Through in December too, so. They do a lot of outside stuff in December, so I mean, it stops right around Christmas, but
How do you guys do as retail during the parade? Cause I know we're closed, so
We don't really.
I just think, I drove through there and got stuck and I couldn't even get out of downtown. I had to go. move
Well, and
there.
if they're bringing
Yeah, we
the
don't-
kids down, they're not gonna go shopping per se, in a lot of stores, some they are.
I mean, like my store does well with it.
Sure.
But I mean, they're coming in, they're like, oh, we forgot our mittens, oh, we need new ones, this is our tradition, we come and,
That's fun.
do that, so with the kids side of stuff, and even with
Yes.
the adult and.
Which not every event
Not everybody,
Helpful to every business,
Right.
like we all take our turn.
so I try to I'm trying to stay out of that side of it, but as a business day, it's usually a good day for me. Some are better than others, I would say that this year, I mean, with how cold it was not
Ideal.
ideal for anything, so.
And that's, I think, if you fight cold weather, it's good to always kill you. And you're not bringing your little
That kind
kids
of-
out there when it's that cold, and you're not gonna. I planned on going, but it's too cold to take my son. I think if it's in, November or like earlier, you are, maybe getting
Well,
lucky, that
safer.
might be a nicer weather and.
I feel like it's more a placemaking event than a cash registering event,
Yes,
in general.
it's a
Mhm.
warm and fuzzy event to
Yeah.
feel good about your town and.
All right, that clear as mud. Amy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna talk to the band until we have marketing and promotions, or I talk to them and take their input to marketing and promotions.
I guess. Somewhat of a consensus was we want a parade, is what I heard from this group right now.
Yeah.
In some capacity and figuring out what the best bang for our buck and time and effort is. Would be, I don't know if we have specifics, but maybe. There was a little bit of push to move it back to earlier, I don't know.
Move it, and then it's gonna be 70 degrees in December.
It'll happen.
Okay, then the other event that needs, direction for moving ahead is Men's Night. The input we got, there's clear input that the event should be more geared towards last minute shopping, not so much men's night, but shop downtown for the holidays or family shopping or, have it a night that stores are open late, but it's not focused just towards men and drinking, I guess. So that was pretty clear. So we just
From the
have,
surveys?
Hmm?
From the surveys?
yeah.
I love the idea of a family shopping night. I think it's
Mhm.
good for everyone. It's, you know, it's easy to entertain kids. You could do some little things like, you know, marshmallows roasting. And, you know, bringing a family together, shopping, enjoying our downtown, going, you know, I think that's a core moment that they do at one time. It could become a tradition and you could build off of that.
I think the word shopping in there makes it more specific too.
Right,
I like that.
family shopping, and when I was a kid, when I grew up here and the business were all open every Friday night till 9. Right? And we got away from that just because of, I don't know, staffing or whatever. I was gone for 20 years, so I don't know. But the commitment wasn't there for all the businesses to stay open.
Never is. Unfortunately.
But it could be if it were, you know, we've got open house Friday, we've got, I would say the 7th and then the 14th, right, or whatever. And then one more. 21st. So maybe we say family shopping night is Friday night and whoever, we try it again.
I think it's easy to market it too, you know, bring your family, make it a tradition, you know, support local.
Summer Fridays is a thing, yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing we can utilize our downtown buck to, you know, that people don't use.
Okay. And then, the Downtown Birthday Club was something that was initiated at the Marketing and Promotions Committee that, Missy's been working on getting business involved. So far, I think she has 13. Yeah, 13 businesses interested. So it's, I mean, she basically was saying, do you do something currently for people's birthday? And if so, do you want to be part of this? Basically, someone is gonna have a group of 5 people coming into downtown. They contact our office and we let all the businesses know this group is coming. I don't know what all the logistics are yet, but it's a little more organized that people know that they're coming, and then they will know what all the different specials, different places are offering if it's your birthday or something. So that is ongoing. Just now that winter weekend's over, shopping map and summer event sponsorship is what we're gonna be working on. And then the Match on Main grant is gonna be released, I believe, on March 1st. Or be launched by the state. So I'll be getting, the program's basically the same. It's up to $25,000 grant. So I'll get it out to all of downtown. If businesses are interested, to get kind of a synopsis of what your application would be. And then I will take that to the Economic Enhancement Committee, which is a very hard committee to get because they have very, like, people like Nikki on it that have meeting after meeting after meeting. So getting on that calendar is tough. And then they kind of go through them and say, we think these would be the strongest candidates. The city can submit 2. Last year, what happened is we had 2 downtown applicants and 1 that was citywide. And my understanding was as the DDA we could submit 2 and the city could submit 2, but that wasn't the case. It was 2 community-wide. We're only gonna get 1. If we get an award, we'd get 1, but you can submit up to 2. So that's,
And that, can you remind me what that dollar are used for?
that it's much more operating or, I mean, it's really not exterior, it's interior stuff, so it could be a new business, it could be you're redoing a concept and you wanna, so the businesses that have gotten it, when Jennifer Shorter opened Lucy and Carl's. She had an award. Last year, Picado was awarded one, but then they ended up leaving, so we lost that grant. Previously, Tom and Dick's got it when they made some improvements in their store. So it's really working capital is what they're, but doing something, I mean, it should be unique and something that's enhancing the community and the business district by what you are doing.
Got it. Great.
And there's, the match requirement is 10%. Obviously, most people are going to be matching it more than that, but that's, the requirement is only a 10% match by the business.
Oh.
It actually is applied for by the community. So the business submits the certain parts of the application, the community submits other parts of the application. The grant is awarded to the city to administer to the business. So, but it's really one of the only grants that is for working capital for businesses. So that's, it's very popular and very competitive. So that's why we want to make sure when we submit, it's a really good application.
It's not gonna leave. Great.
And I think
Can I
that
ask
is
about
all I
another
have.
event?
City, and we have,
Can I ask about another event? The
Another
flower,
event?
yeah, the flower festival, is that, is
I am
William?
That was started by, William and.
Yeah. I just wondered if he.
And I have heard nothing.
Okay. Might reach out to him. I like that event. I think it could be. Great for the future.
great. That was committees and staff. Do we have any news from the city that we don't have anyone from the city?
Trying to think of what,
Did winter,
they've had a lot of discussion on Winter Sports Park.
did anything happen with that or still discussion?
I think they're still working on the master plan.
Yeah.
Making some
It got shut
changes.
down.
I thought I got shut.
It got shut down.
Yeah.
The gazebo and the whole thing got.
Oh, that did, but there were, so,
Oh,
yeah,
they-
the structure and the
Ice rink,
ice,
yeah.
Yeah.
they didn't move forward on funding that, but then they brought forward the master plan for the whole park. So there was discussion of, should the focus be snowmaking, should the focus be the structure with the ice? So they're still working on that.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
Uh,
Anything else from the city? Perspective?
Well, one other grant, that I told the board about, the grant that we got for the Carnegie Building, it was a community energy management grant, $100,000. Did an energy assessment of the building, and then have money to do some of the replace some of the windows. So actually Monday night, Shane is gonna be going to council and asking. So what happened is we had only a certain amount of that grant allocated for the windows. And that only is gonna do a certain number. So we asked them if we could modify the grant and move some money from what was a communications plan into the windows, so that got shifted. And then the library, all Carnegie libraries are gonna be awarded a $10,000 award, I think, because of the Sequicentennial. So that money is gonna go towards it, but we need about $90,000 to do all of the windows. No, not that much. I can't remember, but anyway. Shane is going to city council, see if they'll fill the hole so we can get them all done instead of getting 6 windows done and then trying to find more money and have them come back and restage and do everything like that. So that's an improvement in downtown. And one other thing, because I was just at what used to be the Stars and Stripes Committee is now called the staff, and they're the ones that run the 4th of July. They are looking at doing a Friday night. I wish they've come up with a name for it. hometown block party. And we're looking at doing it the 3rd from 5 to 8 PM in Pennsylvania Park. And just closing that section of like between the parks. And it's going to, we're gonna have music. And possibly, they were talking about doing a potluck, like have different wards doing potlucks. And then like historic games, so like 3-legged races and that kind of stuff. And so there's different things before people go out to Bay Harbor to watch fireworks. So it's to try to have a community block party downtown. Joey, you're shaking your head.
I love it. It's like one of the busiest days of the year.
Yeah,
But-
Already.
yeah.
But I'm just worried about. Well, I don't know, more stuff downtown is fun, I guess, I'm not trying to. Get up, but like, that's one of the days I'm like, oh, we're good on that day.
Well, that's what I said.
Volunteers for
Because it's a
something.
Friday and that's just the faucet gets turned on that day and suddenly they're all here.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it's.
And they have so much to do and people have so much stuff to do. But
There's a lot of days.
our traditions,
A lot of days in the summer, and a lot of days in the year, so.
It's the big
That's a busy one.
Sacramento.
That's like one of the busiest.
Pretty much it, yeah.
So more information on that.
Great,
To July, so.
no, I
okay, anything else?
feel drunk.
The city, ladies?
Philadelphia.
Awesome, thank you, everyone, that's, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Joe.